Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and making time to learn more about intestinal health. So this is our getting started video. The purpose and goal here is just to help you understand what we're going to do and how this will work for you so it's not confusing. So we're going to do this on Facebook, and the thought behind that is just because it's really easily accessible for most people. Emails can get lost. The sea of emails I have, it's kind of crazy. So I figured Facebook was just a really great place to do this. Be easy for everybody. So once a day, there's going to be a video posted that'll be about 20 to 25 minutes. In that video, we'll talk very specifically about certain subjects. On the file section of the Facebook page, there will be files for each day, and that will give you kind of a synopsis of what we're going to talk about. And so you can print those and use those for notes or whatever you feel like you want to use them for. I think they'll be helpful for people. So we will post the video, we'll have the file, sorry, trying to make sure I say everything, and then we will also leave the group closed so you can ask whatever questions you feel like you want to ask, and you don't have to be worried or concerned that the entire Facebook friend list you have is going to read them too. So if you want to talk about, you know, your bowel movements, this is a good place to do that. And while that sounds really crazy, me saying this at the beginning, you'll understand that that's probably going to be a big portion of our conversation. That's how we kind of get an inside look at our internal health. So anyway, we'll learn more about that later. Yay! So we'll utilize the file section. We'll post a video every day. We'll close the group so you can ask questions. And we'll also have a support group that will continue on after this week that you can utilize. It will also be closed so you can continue to get additional help. I want you to understand a little bit why I'm doing it this way. Some of you have been to our intestinal health class, and I know that some of our other wellness advocates that have participated in this class have found a way to shorten it and make it more digestible on a smaller class scale. The problem that I found is that it was a really long class. And not only was it a really long class, most people are willing to commit to a half a day to learn something really important to them. But when people left, they were just so overwhelmed with information. And so my hope here is that splitting it up into these 7 days and making it really short and a little more digestible will be a lot more helpful to people, and that they will actually walk away feeling empowered instead of frustrated and confused. Clearly, that's not going to help anybody get healthy. I also really wanted to take a minute and just help you guys understand what brought me to a place where I feel like I can talk about this. So you all know I'm not a doctor. I'm not even certified in any sort of natural healing process. I've just spent the last 7 years learning how to live naturally. And in the last year, I've spent a lot of time working on healing my intestinal tract and my family's intestinal tract. We still have a long way to go, but we've learned a lot in the process. And so so many different things I want to say. We have a daughter who is very little, and she has a lot of big personality, a lot of behavioral stuff that we work with. And I guess it was probably a year and a half ago, our chiropractor, who we've been seeing, had introduced us to the fact that there might be some gut things going on there. And when she said that, I'm like, gut things, what is she talking about? I didn't have any clue what she's talking about because I'd never heard anything like that before. And she had recommended some things that we try, and I had tried them. But the more things I tried, the more aware I became of some of the other symptoms that she was having. And so I started mentioning those to her, and she looks at me one day very concerned, and she says, "You have to look at this diet. You have to check this out. I really don't feel like you have a choice. Your child's gallbladder isn't working." And it kind of got real. It got really real in that moment. And it was a really hard realization to know that I'm in charge of my child's health. I felt like I had been doing so much to make her healthier. You know, we had cut down on so many different things, and we had changed so many things that really are good. And I really thought I had been doing enough. And then she says this to me, and I thought, really, I felt overwhelmed, and I felt sad. I felt a lot of different things. And I listened to her, and I walked away, and I went and I tried to learn more. And I talked to people who had been doing it, and I had come back to her. I took a class through her, and I learned as much as I could. And so I've taken that and I've applied it to our family. We still have a long way to go. We're not completely healed. But what we have done has made such a huge difference in our lives. We're so much healthier. I don't know how emotionally stable we'll ever be, but we're way more emotionally stable than we were before. So it was worth it, and it's still worth it, and we'll continue on, and our lives are just in a better place physically. And through all of this and learning all this for ourselves, I felt like a lot of people I came in contact with through doTERRA, working with the oils, they would tell me, I have this going on. What oil do I use? How can I make this better? And one of my big statements was, well, what does your diet look like? What kind of products are you using in your home? And I found that everything that I was pointing them to was helping them to better understand how to have full body health, not just utilize a tool like essential oils or prescriptions or whatever it is that you've been utilizing to try to fix a situation, one situation at a time. If you can fix the body as a whole and work towards healing the centralized areas of it, like, you know, your immune system, which that'll go too far. We'll talk about that more, but fix those core functioning organs and like your neurological system through your spine and your intestinal tract, then all these other things will start to fix themselves. Our bodies have this beautiful innate ability to heal. And so as I would have these conversations, and I just started to realize that what they really needed wasn't necessarily just to hear about the oils. They really needed to hear more. They needed to hear more of other people's stories, my stories. They needed to understand the greater picture of all of it. And so that's kind of my hope, is that this will open up your, just broaden your view of your full body health. And really, honestly, I hope that you'll tell other people. Not because I want to work with all these other people. Not that I wouldn't, but that's not my goal. My goal isn't to attract more people into my world, but attract more people into a world that will make them healthier. I feel like we live in a time where we've lost our way as far as keeping our bodies on track and doing for our bodies what is best. And I really feel like that can change. And I feel like the only way it's going to change is if we start talking about these things and start making them more aware, just like anything, bringing awareness to something. And so I really hope that as you learn more and you experience more in your own life, that you won't hesitate to tell people about that, even though maybe it might not be what everybody else is doing. So anyway, that's why I'm doing this. That explains what we're doing, and I can't wait to get started. So turn this video off and go print day one's file.